let's just dive right into the heart of the Rose-Red City to uncover what's real and what's, well, pure Hollywood myth. We're looking at Petra today, that stunning ancient Nabatean capital carved right into the multicolored sandstone of the Jordanian desert. Now, if you've seen the movies or skimmed a standard travel brochure, you probably think you already know this place. But today, we're going to use the historical record, some really cool architectural analysis, and even a recent archaeological debate to peel back the layers of this magnificent site. So, right out of the gate, I want to hook your curiosity and ask you, what do you actually think is the true hidden marvel of this ancient metropolis? Is it those towering facades, the lost gold of an Egyptian pharaoh? Or maybe is it something completely invisible to the untrained eye? Keep that question in the back of your mind as we walk through these concepts, because the answer kind of redefines everything we know about ancient engineering and human survival. Okay, so you know pop culture loves to tell us that the famous treasury hides a pharaoh's gold, or famously the Holy Grail from Indiana Jones. But the reality? It was built as a magnificent royal tomb. The building known as El Khazne, or the treasury, actually contains a burial crypt beneath its iconic 40-meter facade. Experts believe it was likely built as a mausoleum and crypt right around the beginning of the 1st century AD, possibly for the Nabatean king Aratus IV. And I hate to break it to you, but there is absolutely no hidden gold in that giant stone urn at the top. In fact, that urn is just solid sandstone, even though it's completely pocked with bullet holes from treasure hunters over the centuries. It's a monument to the dead, you guys, not a bank vault. Section 1. Carving the living rock. Subtractive architecture. Just imagine for a second the sheer courage it took to carve this top down without scaffolding. I mean, there was absolutely zero room for error here. Because wood was incredibly scarce in this arid desert, they couldn't exactly build towering wooden scaffolds. So instead, the ancient stone carvers started by smoothing the rock to create a giant flat canvas. Then, they literally hollowed out small terraces at the very top of the cliff and just worked their way down. They had to finish the top of the building completely before descending because, well, they could never go back up to fix a mistake. Imagine that level of planning. Every single volume and line had to be projected onto raw rock before a single chisel even struck. These Nabatean stone carvers acted as grand illusionists, revealing entire buildings by basically removing the mountain itself. And that is the literal essence of subtractive architecture. As they descended, they completely erased all traces of their work ledges. They also masterfully managed the incredible weight of the cliff above them. When researchers look closely at 3D digital models today, they found that the massive facade of the treasury doesn't actually support the hundreds of tons of rock above it. Actually, scratch that. It's more like the lintels and columns are carved into the cliff in such a way that the rock wall itself supports the weight. It's a spectacular optical illusion created by ancient masters of force dynamics. Section 2. The Invisible Hydraulic Empire. Petra's water system. Now here we get to see the Nabatean genius really at work. This is an actual stone aqueduct arch traversing a deep gap to bring life-saving water directly into the city. Unlike Roman aqueducts that, often stood on massive towering arcades, Nabatean conduits actually hugged the ground, using the natural contours of the bedrock. But when they absolutely had to cross a deep ravine, like the Wadi al-Waira, they built these incredibly precise, narrow-arched bridges. This specific arch supported a channel that kept the water flowing steadily across the super rugged desert topography. Their invisible infrastructure was just insanely advanced. I mean, they turned a bone-dry desert into a thriving oasis through meticulous water management. They built wadi barriers and containment dams to trap flash floods. And they weren't just capturing the water, they were actively preventing those violent floods from completely washing their city away. They carved enormous cisterns out of the solid bedrock, roofing them with stone arches to stop evaporation in the blistering desert sun. And then they connected the whole shebang with over 200 kilometers of ceramic pipelines. In some spots, they even used intentionally pressurized terracotta pipes as inverted siphons to carry water across massive dips in the terrain. It's wild. 40,000 cubic meters. To put that into perspective, that is the massive volume of annual runoff they managed in areas like Humeima to sustain thousands of people and all their livestock. By catching the absolute minimal rainfall, we're talking sometimes less than 100 millimeters a year, and channeling it perfectly, they didn't just scrape by and survive, they lived in absolute luxury. This water system fed cascading fountains, huge public pools, and rich agricultural terraces. It really was kind of like the Las Vegas of its time. This totally improbable oasis of indulgence and power that was entirely made possible by their hidden plumbing. Section 3. The 2024 Tomb Controversy. A modern debate. Okay, let's fast forward a bit and neutrally examine a really fascinating clash that happened recently. On one side of this modern debate, we have highly publicized claims of a brand new discovery. On the other side, we have established archaeological records showing these exact tombs were excavated 20 years prior. So recently, a major television event on the Discovery Channel, working with researchers from the University of St. Andrews and the American Center of Research, announced the groundbreaking discovery of a hidden tomb with 12 ancient skeletons directly beneath the treasury. However, local Jordanian archaeologists quickly pointed out that this specific area, tombs known as 62D and 62E, was actually already excavated by them in 2003 and 2005. Back then, because of a lack of funding and to protect the super fragile remains, the Jordanian team covered the burials with protective fabric and backfilled them with clean soil to preserve them for the future. Now, it is important to note the official press release perspective here, which genuinely celebrated this recent excavation as a vital missing piece of Nabatean history. From the perspective of the 2024 team, using ground-penetrating radar to properly unearth and study these human remains provided unprecedented data. Getting direct access to the pottery, the sediments, and the actual burials of early Nabateans allows science to definitively date the construction of the treasury to the 1st century. So for these researchers, bringing these artifacts to a global audience really is a monumental achievement for our overall understanding of the site. But conversely, we absolutely must look at Dr. Farajat's passionate defense of the facts. He highlights that his local team had already done the meticulous, hard work to uncover and protect these exact skeletons in 2003 and 2005. For the local experts, framing this as a sudden, brand new, radar-led discovery for a TV show kind of erases the underfunded, gritty work that Jordanian archaeologists did decades ago. They argue that television production crews essentially just removed the protective backfill placed there by local scientists and then staged it as a fresh discovery. So it's a really complex debate about credit, media sensationalism, and how we actually share archaeological progress with the rest of the world. And, reality, as it turns out, often doesn't really care about the movies. The dramatic chalice find that made all those headlines, it was simply a mundane, broken piece of ancient pottery. During the television broadcast, the presenter held up an object that looked uncannily like the Holy Grail from the Indiana Jones movie, and it caused a massive media stir. But detailed scientific examination confirms it's simply the top portion of a broken everyday jug from the 1st century BC. Now, it is an amazing historical artifact in its own right, for sure. It gives us incredible clues about Nabatean daily life and burial rituals. But yeah, it certainly doesn't grant eternal life. Section 4. Petra's true enduring legacy beyond the myths. Just think about the sheer dedication required to carve the 800-plus rock-cut steps leading all the way up to the colossal monastery facade high in the mountains. This monument, known as Al-Dair, is actually even larger than the treasury, standing nearly 50 meters wide. The Nabateans didn't just build a few pretty tombs in a valley, they transformed an entire mountain range into a soaring, monumental landscape. Their true architectural genius lies in how they synthesize structural styles from Greece, Rome, Egypt, and Assyria, taking elements from all of these vast empires and blending them perfectly into something uniquely their own. So the crucial takeaway here is that Petra's magnificence really doesn't need to be exaggerated by Hollywood. Its real history and the quiet dedication of the experts protecting it are spectacular enough on their own. The Nabateans were visionary engineers who made water literally flow uphill through siphons in a barren desert. They were master sculptors who carved entire palaces from the sky down. And today's archaeologists, both the ones making new scientific analyses and the unsung heroes who quietly backfilled trenches 20 years ago to protect fragile bones, they are the ones keeping this incredible history alive. I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder about what we truly value when we uncover the ancient past. Are we easily distracted by the cinematic allure of a holy grail and sudden, dramatic television discoveries? Or can we find an even deeper sense of wonder in the slow, careful, and often invisible engineering, both from the ancient Nabateans and modern archaeologists, that actually sustains a legacy? Thank you so much for exploring the true secrets of Petra with me in this explainer. Until next time, keep questioning what's beneath the surface.